Thank you for joining us. Today we have an update on the Bearspaw South Feeder Main repair and impacts to citywide water service. We'll be hearing from Director of Capital Priorities and Investment, Francois Bouchard. We'll hear his remarks and then there will be an opportunity to ask questions after. I'll now turn it over to Director Bouchard.
Good afternoon. My name is Francois Bouchard, Director of Capital Priorities and Investment for the City of Calgary. Thank you for attending today's update. I want to start out by saying that we are incredibly thankful for the water savings Calgarians have made so far. We are saving 100 million litres of water every day. That is over 80% of the way to our goal. We still have a gap of approximately 15 million litres each day. If everyone in Calgary skipped one extra toilet flush, we would save a further 8 million litres. Skip 2 flushes and we have reached our goal. These small actions truly add up. I also want to thank our regional partners. They have been doing a great job at heeding the call to reduce water use, and we appreciate their efforts. We are not only relying on residents to do their part. We have been in discussions with large commercial customers to encourage decreased reliance on city water for their operations. As a result of some of these conversations yesterday, we now have a commitment for an additional 3 million litres a day in water savings. We expect this to take effect in the next few days. Now, city recreation facilities are also taking steps to save water. At the start of the restrictions, we adjusted by closing hot tubs and steam rooms, making changes to reduce the amount of water used in cleaning, and changing some programming. We're now taking some additional steps to help even more. As of September 7th, showers will be turned off at city-operated arenas, athletic parks, and the Calgary Soccer Centre. City arenas will also be using non-potable water to flood ice surfaces, saving approximately 170,000 litres of water each day. And the Murray Copot arena ice will be installed using entirely non-city water. These are steps that will help get us closer to our reduction target. But it's still very important that we continue to save water at home, especially with warmer weather in the forecast. With heat today and over the weekend, we understand the need to tend to flowers and gardens as you anticipate your fall harvest and prepare your garden beds for the winter. Starting today, Friday, September 6th, residents can access the non-potable water pickup stations for longer hours, from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 days a week. Now, yesterday's water use was 502 million litres. This is up from the day before, and we can assume that it's in relation to the weather demand that does track with temperature. We are hopeful that the increased access to the 3 non-potable water stations may help to alleviate anticipated upcoming demand. While we appreciate the actions that many of you have already taken, we have also been actively enforcing Stage 4 outdoor water restrictions. We understand that it can be frustrating when you're doing your part and see others who are not. Calgarians who are seeing outdoor water misuse can continue to provide information related to these instances through the Calgary 311 app or calgary.ca/311. Our bylaw officers are actively following up. Our construction is continuing to progress well, and we remain on schedule. On sites 1 through 4, which are located on 33rd Avenue Northwest and at Shouldice Park, we continue to install rebar to support concrete pouring. We have now poured concrete at 6 of the 12 repair segments and are continuing concrete curing. Forms at 5 of the repair segments have now been removed. This means that some of our repair segments at these sites are in the final stages of repair as work progresses as efficiently and safely as possible. Excavation continues on all 3 repair segments located at Site 5, which is at 33rd Avenue Northwest and 86th Street. And yesterday morning, crews began excavation works at sites 6 through 8 on 16th Avenue Northwest. 16th Avenue is now closed from 46th Street to 41st Street, with traffic being detoured onto Bowness Road. Bowness Road is fully open in both directions with direct access to 16th Avenue and businesses. Our team has designed a traffic plan that keeps the majority of businesses' driveways open, enables parking, and provides clear direction for customers looking to visit establishments. Free short-term parking is also available throughout the community. We encourage Calgarians to support local during this time and want you to know that Bowness and Montgomery are open for business. The current shutdown has given us an opportunity to complete some additional maintenance without impacting the overall repair timelines. Today, we have started work to repair 4 valves along the feeder main. We have a new feeder main construction webpage where Calgarians and community residents can get the latest updates and information and can sign up for email updates. It can be found at calgary.ca/savewater. I want to thank Calgary, our regional customers and commercial partners for doing what they can. We only have 2.5 weeks left of construction. Anything that you can do to further save water is much appreciated. I will now turn it over to Jamie to field questions from the media.
Any questions?
I have questions. Francois, you mentioned, so barring any surprises with what you see out there right now, are we on time? Could it be done sooner? Might it take longer?
So everything that we've seen, specifically in terms of each time that we have excavated a pipe and looked at its condition, we've been able to confirm that the repair method is appropriate for those locations, and therefore we remain on track with our schedule.
And off the top there, you touched upon the success, I guess, or the fact that surrounding areas outside of Calgary are doing well. Obviously, the city has access to meter data in everybody's house. I won't ask you about individual homes, but who's not meeting the target that the city has set? Is it more residential? Is it more commercial? Is it more north side of the city, south side of the city? Is there anything you can provide to shed any light on that?
Thanks for the question, but this is really not about pitting neighbors with neighbors, communities against communities. What we're seeing is great reductions from our regional customers so that we are able to go and approach our target as we make those reductions. We're also seeing people continue with ways of saving water. We have many customers that we've talked to that are achieving 25% or better in terms of water savings, especially those companies where water is an important cost to their production. They've been on this water saving journey already, and therefore in terms of being able to find ways to reduce water, they have a lot of innovations and experience in terms of doing that. And then finally, we know that there's many Calgarians that are heeding the direction of the city in terms of both not using water outdoors and also making reductions indoors. So this is a collective effort, and it's really about continuing what we're doing. Remember, we've achieved 80%, but there's that little gap that we still need to close.
Yep. On behalf of my great assignment producer from City TV, he would like to ask, Matt Roulette would like to ask, when is Murray Coppet being flooded?
I don't actually have that specific date in terms of when that the arena ice will be put in place. We would have to get back to you on that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Is there anything you can say in terms of how, the commercial businesses that the city is reaching out to? I know this was done in June as well. How's the response from that side of the ledger now compared to June?
I think that the customers that we're talking to, they're continuing to look at opportunities. So some of the conversations we had this week, we talked through in terms of what they were doing, and they were saying there's a few more things that we want to try to achieve even more reductions than what we achieved in June. So I think that it's very encouraging to hear how businesses are leaning into making sure that we do protect our water supply here in Calgary.
And the weather isn't really helping this weekend, given the summery conditions. Is the city looking at other things that it can do to encourage a reduction in consumption? You outlined today some of the things the city is doing itself, but is the city looking at other measures? Because we literally have not hit the target once since this latest round started.
So while we are entering in a period of hotter weather, we also were able to get through a similar situation previously during the long weekend where while we saw temperatures going up, we also saw a reduction in consumption. So it's encouraging to know that based on our modeling as well as what we've seen, we can expect some reduction in water consumption. But we will continue the efforts that we've already undertaken. We will continue to do pop-ups. We will continue to be active in social media. You might have noticed that now on the buses, there's information in terms of the water restrictions being displayed on the buses themselves. So we haven't stopped. We're going to continue pushing the message out, and we're going to continue the enforcement through this weekend.
And just to pick up on something that was said earlier this week in terms of reconfiguring the water system to try and basically squeeze as much water out of it as you can, has that maxed out? Is there anything else that can be done to, for rerouting the pipes and the flow across the city to make some gains that way, or is that maxed out?
The increase that we saw was the big jump because of the reconfiguration in the system. But we have dedicated operators that are always looking for additional tweaks. But I want to highlight that these will be small tweaks to the system. As they learn to operate this new configuration, they might get slight improvements, but don't expect great improvements like we were able to achieve by using this new configuration and testing it out last week.
Any last questions? All right, over the weekend we'll be doing live streams. You can tune in at 2 o'clock, calgary.ca/live.
Thank you. Thanks.